Hello everybody, this is Jesse with Nintendo Revised, and I'm coming with a test for the Smurfs 2, The Prisoner of the Green Stone for the Nintendo Switch. Now, this particular test that I have done is completely from the cart. No patch has been downloaded onto my Switch, as you can see. Also, currently know that the version on the cart is 1.00.02. This is a revised cart 000. And there is currently a patch available to version 1.03.03 at the time of testing. Also, the footage that is being shown to you on the screen will be specifically just for the first level and the first challenge that is on the game, as well as some menu prompts. For this test, I completed all objectives except for one thing. To start, I completed the game, which entails completing every single level. Each level was completed at 100%. What this consists of is decrystallizing the level and finding every single challenge that is within those levels. I found every single challenge within the game, completed them at the highest level of difficulty, which earned me the crystal badge for each of the challenges. Earning all the badges also allows me to unlock every single costume for the Smurfs. Lastly, I completed every single quest and obtained all signature capacities. Unfortunately, I was not able to complete everything. This includes the upgrades. This is the only thing that I did not complete during this test. For upgrades, the player can upgrade their arsenal to level 7, otherwise known as the crystal level. This requires a lot of currency to achieve. I did achieve crystal level for one substance type, or one type of arsenal, but was only able to achieve up to level 6 for the remaining 3 substances. The reason for this is because the upgrades are priced really high, and therefore it would require hours of grinding to complete. Now, on a personal note, I would like to mention that Smurfs 1, which is Mission Vialeaf, that particular game got reprinted in Japan. And I believe specifically that this game will also get a reprint in Japan as well. If that does occur, it's likely that it will be an entirely different build, which means that if this does happen, I will have to start the entire game over from scratch. To save myself some time, I've decided to stop here and not gather all the upgrades, as this is a bit of a grind. I'm going to wait for the possible reprint, and if that occurs, I will go ahead and 100% the game there, along with every single upgrade. The first issue that arose for me in this game is a sound bug. As soon as I loaded a new game file, the first level began, I was met with a very silent world. Now, with that being said, the only sound that I was able to hear is dialogue from the Smurfs. Otherwise, I couldn't hear ambient noises, I couldn't hear music, I couldn't hear footsteps, and I couldn't hear the characters making noises when I jump or did a specific action. Immediately I went online to check if this was part of the game, and I realized that it wasn't. I reset my game entirely, and unfortunately this did not fix the issue. I decided to turn off my Nintendo Switch entirely, restart the game, and only then did it resolve the issue. Keep in mind that this issue never occurred again. Sound worked well from this point forward. This actually leads me to the next issue with the game, which is also related to the sound. The Smurfs are very repetitive. They will repeat the same lines over and over again, and this is very annoying. It started to annoy me about halfway through the game. Thankfully, there is a way to turn down the voices or turn them off entirely, although this is a double-edged sword. This will turn off the voices for the Smurfs during cutscenes and during important segments. For example, a Smurf will mention when there is a hidden challenge nearby. Some of these are very well hidden, and so having them mention that one is nearby is actually very helpful. Personally, I decided to turn down the voices so that I could somewhat hear them, but also enough to shut off the monotony of the chatter. This issue is really based on preference and tolerance levels for the player, but I wanted to mention it here just in case. Another issue that could be linked to audio is related to the cutscenes. Unfortunately, there are times when the voices are not really synced with the character's lips. There will be moments where the voice will say something and the characters are a bit behind. This does not happen with every cutscene, but it does happen a couple of times. Now, let me move away from audio and let's go ahead and talk about the frame rates and performance. Personally, I felt the game performed very well, comparatively to the first game. Now, I did test the Japanese version of Mission Vialeaf, and that particular game, in my opinion, performed a little bit worse than this one. This doesn't mean that this game is perfect. There is slowdown that occurs from time to time. Sometimes the game will stutter for a quick moment and then quickly fix itself. Additionally, there were specific challenge arenas that had frame rate issues, such as constant stutters. The challenge arenas that caused a little bit of frame rate issues are the following: When Push All Comes to Shove and a Smurfy Hike. These two challenges are not very optimized, at least not for handheld play. But overall, I was happy with the performance and felt that it was an improvement over the first game. Please note that this game also has a lot of enemies on screen that are constantly attacking, and even with all of this, the game still ran really well. The game does look a little bit blurry, which I believe was a choice made by the developers to make the game run at a steadier frame rate. The game is not the most appealing thing to look at, but I was okay with it since the game performed rather well. To add to this, there will be some pop-in, as well as some shadow flickering from time to time. Another issue that arose during my playthrough was the game wouldn't allow me to move my character. Thankfully, this only happened twice, so it doesn't happen very often. I'm not sure what caused the issue, but it happened after a cutscene played out. After said cutscene, I was just unable to control my character. Thankfully, the menu still worked, and so I was able to restart from the last checkpoint and just continue from there. Now, speaking of the menus, there is also an issue that appears while navigating them. For example, earlier I mentioned that I was able to get my arsenals up to level 6. For some reason, when accessing the menu, it would downgrade my level back to a level 2 or 3. From here, if I went to another portion of the menu and toggled back and forth, it would level me back up to the proper level. I will show this on screen. Unfortunately, it would take a few toggles back and forth to get back up, since the game would only level me back once. For example, it went from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on. This isn't a huge issue per se, but it's an annoying one because it did cause me some confusion as to why my levels were dropping. Eventually, I was able to figure out that it just wasn't registering the information correctly. Another issue that arose is related to completion status for a specific level. The level name is Volcanic Panic. In this level, I am shown to have 259% completion. Initially, I completed the level at 98%. I was missing some percentage points, as well as I was missing 1 out of 2 challenges. I went back into the level to attempt to find the challenge, but also to get the 100% decrystallization. For some reason, this level dropped my 98% to about 50%. Thankfully, all the crystals that I needed to get rid of did reappear, as they are usually removed entirely once destroyed. Once I finished the level though, the percentage count went up to 259%. Also, the menu does show that I did 100% that specific world that includes this specific level. So I did 100% it, but for some reason it mentions 259%. I do want to say that the game does have its issues, like I just discussed, but I did enjoy the game overall. I would just say that you should expect some issues to occur from the cartridge build. Also, I did want to mention that there is gyroscope that is offered, and that is the specific method that I decided to play with. Gyro works great in this particular game. I had no issues there. Also, there are difficulty options. There's the story, epic, and challenge difficulty options. This basically translates to easy, normal, or hard. There are no accessibility options that I could tell. As far as languages go, there is English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, Chinese, both simplified and traditional, Korean, Japanese, Polish, Russian, and Czech. There is also audio languages that is offered, but it is only to 3 languages, and that is English, French, and German. I was not able to find any DRM, and I played this specifically in handheld mode during my test on my Nintendo Switch OLED. Keep in mind that during the footage that I just recorded, it was docked, but that is the only time I played docked mode. Otherwise, I only specifically played handheld for the entire test. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. I do appreciate you watching this video. This again is Jesse from Nintendo Revised. Everyone, have a great day. Thank you for watching.